What's happening, friends, here, Normal Heights. So it's our September already. That just bugs me out. That's wildin'. It's already
crazy.
September. So I hope you had a great summer, right? I guess,
Sure.
right? So
It's gone already? Is that
gone
it?
already. Maybe kids, if you got any back in school. We love kicking it off with some numbers, but more importantly, though, sprinkle a little consciousness on those numbers and what the heck it might mean to you if you're thinking about maybe getting into or out of some real estate here inside the zip. So July inventory, it jumped up. I think it was I don't know, like 60 or 70% or something like that. So that's like, wow, that was a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you would have seen that if you watched our last month's episode.
Which I'm sure you
All
did.
three of you. In August, it actually went up again,
Yeah.
81%.
From
Well, it's the month of supply that's doubling from the last time this year,
gotcha.
right? So, I'm sorry, this time last year. I
Yeah.
said that backwards,
So
right?
year over year.
That's right. So the jump is astronomical, and we went basically from 2.4 months to 4 months of inventory.
Okay.
That's like phenomenal because ever since I feel like we've been doing this, even in like the short sale and foreclosure days, I feel like we never really went past 9. I mean, there was some bloodbath stuff though, but once it kind of figured itself out, we never really went past like 90 days.
Right.
You know, that was kind of like that watermark.
Yeah.
So to jump to 4 right now, that's noteworthy.
And that's actually below, I think, what they would call like a balanced market still, right? You want
6 months,
6
I think,
months
yeah,
of inventory. And so despite the giant jump, we're still below what would be deemed regular.
And the leading indicator, days on market, exploded. I like using big words. It's good for radio. To 51. And all the homes are overpriced.
Yeah.
Actually.
Actually. Okay.
So sellers got 92.5% of their list price.
Wow.
So, very rarely do you ever see a stat where the sales price is more than the list price. So technically you could say all the homes are overpriced.
Yeah.
Now you could just say that
Yeah.
from a mathematics perspective. But that's stark.
Yep.
That we're down. I mean, that's a 7.5% shave. It's a big deal.
So what does it mean? It means that properties aren't the next day still all the time. Some still are, but not all of them. And if you're a first-time home buyer, this yields an opportunity for you, especially if you use like a low down payment program. So what I'm thinking of is when you go into contract, and you'll know this as an agent, sometimes you show up and you're like, hey, I have 3.5% down. And the other guy right behind you's got 30-40% down. And for whatever reason, the seller likes that number a little bit more.
Of course they do.
Feels more secure.
More skin in the game.
Yeah.
Higher likelihood it's going to close.
Right. So now this becomes an opportunity for those who were kind of pushed out or bullied out of those conversations to jump in there and use these creative financing components. Very little down, 3%, 3.5% down, all these different tools, down payment assistance programs. Sellers might now be willing to entertain those conversations because their homes aren't getting snatched up so quickly.
Yeah. It's interesting though, man, despite all these numbers being like kind of crazy, for San Diego, you go writ large, you pan up big enough. I mean, these numbers are still like ridiculous compared to other markets,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Like even like Central Valley, Bakersfield, like it's right. I mean, come on, it's the gilded goose. But despite all of that though, you zoom out a little bit, year to date, the single family median is still up nearly 10%.
From last year.
How do you math that math?
Yeah. Well, we've been on a run.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's been pretty consistent. We still see this. I have a client who was eyeing the house down the block, didn't feel like he was in a hurry. It went in 3 days. So there's still those pockets, still the nice, maybe desirable single family in that school district that's crazy. Like those are still demanding attention.
Yeah. And so if you're a buyer, right? Like I love the old video game metaphor. If it's more 1v1 than it's ever been before.
Yeah.
Right. So things are getting a little stale. People are kind of getting a little alligator arms. Cool. Right. Move in, take full advantage of that. Don't be afraid to negotiate.
Yeah, especially in a place like Normal Heights, where it's historically super attractive. People want to get into this spot. It's these little pockets of lulls of aggressive tendencies where you can really get in and find that one maybe that you've been eyeing for a long time.
And then, so what do you do for sellers, right? I mean, we just spent this whole time talking about, the math. Oh my goodness, right? So you might be a seller like, where do I fit in? This market isn't for me anymore. Well, here's the truth. Patience right now could be key. But what's funny is that if you line up, like, let's say 3 model matches on the same street that are all listed at the same time, okay? You're either pricing at the market or you're pricing ahead of the market. And what's funny is there's a little psychological shift that happens because, you know, people get in the habit of not only pricing at market, but sometimes they'll price ahead of market and they'll get away with it. But if you end up pricing it ahead of, I just did that backwards. So I guess that would be behind the market. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of ahead of the market, like if you price it a little more aggressively than where it air quote should be, those are getting gobbled up. First, second weekend, they're getting multiple offers. What happens when you get multiple offers? You end up getting bid up.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of sand to be like, look, I got this. I know I got what I got. I'm okay getting this. We're going to do it right now. It takes a little bit of sand to say, hey, I'm going to price it a little more aggressively right now. I'm going to price it ahead of the market right now. Because if you do that, you end up getting actually more for it than if the person was pricing at the market and then had to adjust and chase it down.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
And then from the financing perspective, what we're doing is making sure that you got a little bit of room, right? So if your ceiling is 700, you want to get out there and maybe start looking in the 675 range so that you can have a little bit of wiggle right there if you want to win some of those bids.
There it is. Speaking of winning bids, you're winning bids all the time, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What sort of bids am I winning?
Well, you know, when someone wants to get a loan or they want to talk to somebody about some financing,
Yeah.
isn't that what you do?
It is what I do.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Do you do it on the corner of Adams and 36th?
Sometimes.
Out on the corner,
Yeah,
I mean.
right on the corner.
Showing a little leg?
Got to get the crowd.